Hello, Western Civilization 104 class. Welcome to week 8. Um, I just wanted to say a few things about regarding the topics that we're covering here for this week. So, um, we are going to be learning about the Rus and some documentary clips, the Vikings, and their relations also with the Eastern Roman Empire. I'm actually going to do a very thorough discussion of Vikings and when I do Germanic tribes in more detail next week. So that a lot of these subjects, some of them we've covered lightly, and then we're going to go back and cover them a little bit more. So we've already learned a bit about like Rome and Germania, right? Like and the Germans, but we're going to learn more about that next week. This week we are also covering Islam quite thoroughly. Now, why would we cover this, in Western civilization? So, first of all, we're going to watch a documentary. It has its own set of bias ideas, like all documentaries do, by the way. And just always be aware. I mean, it can be from making something overly positive to overly negative. It could be strengths or weaknesses in certain parts. I just always want to remind you. And this particular documentary it's not coming to mind as much as just this comment about all the clips that I have you watch in general, the ones on the Rus, for example. Also, it's not that I agree with everything 100%, but I'm exposing you to just more ideas and concepts and visuals about the subject matter. Okay, so I just want to kind of remind you of that. But now he talks about Islam in Europe, meaning Spain. So yes, Islam did become a part of the European world for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years. Most of you did not know this, and you are going to learn in this week. And on top of that, here's the problem of not. If you don't understand about the Islamic world, it would be like studying the Cold War and never learning about Russian history, just learning about the West, not realizing that was a big deal. There was a big tension, right, between the Soviet bloc countries and the Western world, and a lot of the discourse was around. Somehow it would get entangled into the subject matter because it was a big deal and it permeates through everything in art and culture. Well, Islam was expanding, and the Christian world was always expanding. There was imperial sets of thinking going on in different parts of the world, and Islam was a major topic in the Christian world. And Christianity was a big topic within the Muslim world, and there happened to have been a lot of negative history put in there through wars, but also, ironically, over time there was a lot of cultural exchange that is not necessarily negative either. Now, I don't have time to go into all of that. What I just want to say is this. I focused at UC Santa Cruz on Asia and the Islamic world. And I'm not fluent in Arabic, but I studied quite a bit of Arabic. And I've studied quite a bit of the Quran and some of the hadiths, the sayings of the Prophet Muhammad. I've studied some of Islamic law. It's called fiqh. Fiqh is Islamic jurisprudence. And also, I've studied some Hebrew and some Persian, some Farsi, and I dabbled in some Greek. So the Judeo-Christian Islamic world is kind of a specialty of mine. I don't want to call myself an expert, but I would say I've devoted a lot of time and research into those areas. And when it comes to the topic of Islam, I've been on the... I have explored many things on the internet, from watching hours of khutbahs or sermons by various branches of Islam, Islamic scholars, from the Sunni to the Shia, the Shiites, Sufis, Salafis, the more traditionalists, sometimes known as Wahhabis pejoratively. And I've watched a lot of the Islamophobic, anti-Islamic lecturers, documentaries, and so on. And I've really tried to know what I'm up against when it comes to the fact that this is a major topic now. And part of it is because there is a major refugee crisis in Europe, which are mainly coming from Muslim majority nations. The topic of 9/11 in America, you can't escape that topic as well, for many people, about Islamic terrorism. How like why would that happen in that religion's name? How to differentiate between extremist groups and moderates and all that kind of stuff. So I'm not into this overly politically correct type of approach, and I'm definitely not for the Islamophobic approach, because they just distort reality. The fact of the matter is, I just want to say this few things, and I'm going to end this. If you look at Christian history, sometimes it's very violent. You have Christian pastors that defended slavery. I have a book called Defending Slavery that I use for my US 101 class when I teach US 101. And it's primary sources from Southern intellects that were writing out books, booklets, or articles to justify slavery. And I have several written by Baptist ministers that are trying to defend the biblical truth and slavery, that they go together. Now, at the same time, what we forget is that most of the abolitionists, the people who were against slavery in America, were also Christian and trying to make arguments based on the Bible that slavery was not what Christians should be participating in. And so my whole point is that this is how all religions operate in the world. And I'm sorry, I teach world religions in my 106 class if you want to learn that, if you want to take that with me. You do have ways to make all religions one way or the other. And so when people have a debate, I watched a debate, is Islam peaceful or not? Well, the presupposition of that argument was wrong from the beginning. When people who are practicing Islam are peaceful, it's peaceful. When people are violent, it's violent, because the people are violent. Same with Christians, same with Buddhists. Right now, there's a massive refugee crisis of Rohingya people from Myanmar/Burma that were raped and killed and expelled from their houses by Buddhist militias and military, and have Buddhist monks that's rallying up people to hate Muslims in that country. So what's in Buddhism to do that? There's nothing in Buddhism that justifies that. I can tell you that right now. I've studied Buddhism as well, but it happens. And right now there's Hindu nationalists that are very anti-Muslim and anti-other religious minorities also happening in India right now. So again, not to be late, not to keep on the same point, I just noticed there's a lot of people who invest in this topic. And I'll occasionally have students that try to tell me, oh, you're portraying it this way or that way, and you're just being one of those professors who, wants to try to, I know I'm a leftist crazy professor who's trying to manipulate people for socialism and Islamic extremism. That's the might be right on the socialism part, but anyways, look, my whole point is this. This is a nuanced presentation, and I normally wouldn't make such a long discussion about this, except that I just know what I've been up against through time. And so if you want to have a discussion with me about anything that I presented, and maybe challenge some of what is being discussed, please contact me, because I know that this is the one time that I have with you where I can If you have some views that are very negative and you feel like you've been really greatly informed on that, contact me and let's see how that works. And I know this even from some of my students that are minorities from Muslim majority countries that have had negative experiences, and it's made them kind of bitter. But I've had also minorities from those countries have various comments as well. That there's a world full of nuance. There's a wide range of experiences people have with different things, and they shape us into how we perceive the world. So, yeah, I think you get my point, and I'll just end it there. And I always believe in, shalom, salam, shlama, peace, irini, peace, peace. Everything's got to be chill. It's not chill, but in my class, I try to work with chill. All right. Have a blessed night and a great rest of your week, and we'll be in touch. Like I said, contact me if you want to go into this. I work all day tomorrow, and then I'll be available to communicate with everybody as much as possible on Tuesday.